So Hack Madness is a play on March Madness, and I liked the top 4. Your number 1 seeds. This is for hacks in the media. As I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, are Nicole Wallace, Eugene Daniels of Politico, but now he's got a show on MSNBC, Nora O'Donnell, and Margaret Brennan. I like it. I like it a lot.
Big year for CBS.
Yeah.
I mean, Smug is our resident bracketologist here. We all put a lot of work into the seedings this year. This is our 5th annual, Megyn, and every year it's a body of work, right? You got to do a lot of things throughout a calendar year in order to qualify for the tournament. And then we seed you appropriately on how we thought you did throughout the year.
And that's the thing is, so, I mean, it starts with 66. We have 2 playing games. We're talking about, it's the same size as March Madness. There are 64 hacks that are going head to head. It gets voted on online on X. It's huge. I mean, we've so far had, throughout the history of these, over 10 million votes cast. So, I mean, it's bigger than some congressional races in terms of the number of votes that go into this. But also, it's so great because I tag every single one of these hacks. I at them on X every single time. And very frequently, I get blocked. They start tweeting about how mad they are. They're like, I'm so unbiased. And then without fail, they get all these replies of screenshots of like Russiagate nonsense and everything else. But like Holmes said, it's their previous year's body of work that goes into deciding it. And I think, to me, the story of this year is that 2 CBS people got the number 1 seed in each of their divisions. Further, they were the 2 who also managed a vice president debate. Like, this has to stop too.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
Yeah, this is like that trans movie about the Colombian guy who wanted to be trans and they got all the nominations. That's CBS right now. They got all the nominations in Hack Madness. But I have one bone to pick because it seems that the latest matchup has this Eugene Daniels up against Don Lemon, who's only an 8 seed. What kind of disrespect is that to Don Lemon's hackness?
This is very, very, very important, Megyn. And we have a proprietary methodology. In college basketball, Ken Pomeroy has this Ken Pom, which he uses as like a quotient to rank basketball teams. We have this methodology that includes everything from like how liberal they are,
exposure,
how crazy they are, how much of a liar they are, and then exposure. And like Don Lemon dropped in the seeding because his quotient and exposure has gone down a little.
He's been fired twice.
Yeah.
That's right. I've never seen Duncan this animated about any other subject that we've ever discussed with him. By the way.
I put a lot of thought into this and included
Duncan did a lot of work.
It included a lot of numbers. I might be on the spectrum. It's,
Now, is it like the NCAA March Madness where we've learned this year there's no more Cinderella stories because it's basically because we're allowing the athletes to make money and so they can switch to schools and they're leaving their small schools and they're all going to the big schools.
That's a good comparison.
So is that what's happening in Hack Madness too? Or could there be a sleeper surprise? Like I would say Eugene Daniels kind of a sleeper surprise. Most people, not a household name.
No, not a household name. I mean, there's an inherent bias as we've done this over 5 years for people who are on TV. They're recognizable. All the crazy stuff that they've done is visual, so people can actually see it. There's an inherent bias against print, whose body of work, might I say, is extraordinary. But they don't get the kind of representation that's necessary to make it all the way to the Final Four in this kind of thing. We're hoping that sort of works its way out a little bit, but there's only like 6 print journalists left after one round. So, yeah, I mean, this is, household names go a long way.
And there were some newcomers that went down really hard in the first round. And I'm telling you, I mean, as much as some of these people have tried their best, they are not going to overcome Margaret Brennan. She has done yeoman's work building towards this championship, and I don't think she's going to be denied this year.
A real powerhouse.
Wait, what did Jeffrey Goldberg even make the dance? He was probably not even on your radar.
No, he was a bubble team. He was a bubble team.
He was a bubble team, but it happened. All of this happened a week after the bracket came out, and so
sorry, sir. Late submission.
He could have been, in terms of what he's done lately, a serious contender.
After that soundbite we played at the top of the show, I could have elevated him a couple of seeds at least.
I know. We have some upsets, Michael?
This is breaking news because the next round of Hack Madness is currently live.
Voting is happening now.
X.
Everyone visit Comfortably Smug on X.
Can people still get in on this, you guys, or is it too late? Like NCAA?
Yeah,
where do they go?
Vote. Well, Eugene,
you vote at Comfortably Smug on X. I have it pinned right on my profile.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
go ahead,
Eugene
Duncan.
Daniels right now is losing to Don Lemon. He's a 1 seed. Don Lemon's an 8 seed.
Upset.
Support
They
it.
got
Support
Anna
it.
Navarro's beating Chris Hayes.
Oh, that's
right
surprising.
now.
Oh.
It's very surprising. Keith Olbermann is beating Sunny Hostin. She was a 2 seed.
Boy, she did a lot of work this year.
The View is
Tough
really
one.
like the power of the View has really started to wane.
Yeah. Well, and Joy, what's her name got from the View
Reid.
got knocked out.
Joy Behar.
Joy Behar.
Lost.
What
Yeah,
about
in the
Joy?
last
What'd you
round.
do with Joy Reid? Because now no visibility, but I mean,
But it's
very
a
high
body
up
of
on the
work.
hackery scale.
Body of work throughout the year, right? She had that kind of visibility throughout a calendar year, and so she richly deserved
Well,
it.
and it's paying off for Anna Navarro, right? Because in addition to like that, she's also going on like Bill Maher, and she's on CNN a lot, and so all that visibility means she's going to make a long run here in the tournament.
All to crown the biggest hack in all of political reporting.
Who did you guys pick? You know how we have to pick our number one. This year I went with Duke for all sorts of reasons on the other bracket, which is completely collapsed, by the way, my bracket. But who do you guys have for number one? Did you all pick different people?
I think we might have picked different people. I will say I had 3 CBS people in my final 4, but I ultimately ended up going with Nicole Wallace. I thought her making fun of the kid at the State of the Union
Very
was
good.
just it's a recency bias perhaps, but sometimes that propels a team.
I mean, I
Very
have to go
good.
with Margaret Brennan. She goes in, day out with the hackery. It started her like Cinderella run started at that VP debate, and then you saw things as recent as when she tried to go after Marco Rubio on Sunday. Like she keeps at it
like,
week after week with the hackery.
Humiliation fetish.
Yeah, I'm with Smug on this. I'm counting on America's love of JD Vance, America's love of memes, and America's hatred of Margaret.
Margaret.
You know, I don't really care, Margaret.
I don't care. Margaret was just
Right.
a huge moment.
It became the whole thing.
I'm also a big believer in Margaret Brennan this year. You know,
you
this
guys all
tournament.
picked her?
Yeah, I
Big
did.
believer.
I did because this tournament is about the big moments, like what she did in the debate. It's also about doing, what you're doing when nobody else is watching.
Day in, day
her,
out.
That's her show. Nobody watches her show. But in the big moments, when like Marco Rubio dunks on her or JD Vance dunks on her, that's on X. People see it. She's performing well then too. So I'm telling you, I think this is hers to lose.
Yeah.
Who was it? Which blonde news anchor was it who said to JD, like, only a few apartment buildings have been taken over by the Venezuelan gangs? Who was that, Steve? Was it Martha
might have been Martha
Raddatz?
Raddatz.
Yeah, it was
I
Martha
think it was
Raddatz.
Martha Raddatz. We didn't see
She
enough
should get
of
an
her this
honorable
year.
mention in there. That
Yeah,
was
we
like
didn't
a,
see enough of her. But she was a
it's
bubble
true.
too.
The exposure's low. Yeah, she could be a
Low
bubble.
exposure. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Catherine
look, it's
Mayer,
tough.
Mar, she got in there super late, media executive. God, if she had just had this testimony, what might have been. In any event, we'll continue.
I will tell you,
follow
though,
it.
Megan, there's one really special Cinderella story in this year's tournament. A former champion who had not made the bracket for a couple of years due to an unfortunate employment situation has made a return and is now working his way through the bracket. The potato himself, Brian Stelter.
Such a story. Gets fired by CNN, begs his way back.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a three-seed, I'm told.
Fighter.
It's what's built this country.
How can you root against him? I can only imagine the halftime speech. You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is already sinking, and you don't buy gold when the economy's already collapsed. Clearly, others are heeding this advice as gold hit all-time highs already this year. It's not too late for you, too. You could have Birch Gold help you diversify into physical gold. Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold for no money out of pocket. One recent 5-star review said Birch Gold was, quote, knowledgeable, helpful, non-pressure. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the letters MK to the number 989898. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, text MK to the number 989898 and let the experts at Birch Gold help you secure your future today with gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.